Yo, peace. We live from Pasadena, the city of roses. We give y'all a 360. Down at City Hall to show the structures. You see, it's a heavy emphasis on Greek mythology. Every city is tapped into a certain form of mythology. And when you know what frequency that is, you can study that mythology so that you can connect to the energy of the city, because it is that energy that gives the city power. Now, it isn't that particular mythology, it's just the energy behind the figures within the mythology. For example, like Jesus. Jesus is an energy. Zeus is an energy. Pleiades is an energy that we all have access to. That the people that built the city knew about this science, connected with that energy, and created what we now see. This is why every city has a certain feel. Every city feels different. Every city is unique. Every city has its ups and downs. Every city has its certain art, certain imagery. Now, when it comes to chaos magic, which is a process of destroying your reality and rebuilding it, it starts with the energy. It starts with the metaphysical. It starts with the spiritual. It's about tapping into the knowledge. Before we start to want to manifest things physically, we have to break down the barriers within our subconscious. And what that means is things that we don't even think about consciously still affects us on subconscious levels, because they have been programmed within us. So things that still affect us on a subconscious level, that still affect us even though we don't think about them, those are the things we have to deal with, because those are truly the things that hold us back. It's not what we think it is. It's probably what we are not even thinking, that we probably don't even remember, but still had an effect on us that holds us back from doing certain things. Like, we may have a fear of insects or certain things, elephants, certain animals, and don't even remember why. All we know is when we see them, we have a certain reaction towards that energy. Now, whatever can hold your energy for that long, something that can just paralyze you in fear, that's definitely something you can tap into. Because if it has that type of power over you as a phobia, imagine what that power can do if you integrate with it, if you become one with it, if you embrace it. Because if it's able to paralyze you in fear, or just imagine what type of power it can give you. So that's one thing. It's really the art of war. When we're destroying our reality so that we can rebuild it, it's not going to come down easily. It's not going to just lay down and let us do it, because it's so ingrained in us. It's so deep within us. It's all we really know. So of course, it's going to fight back. And the process of our minds fighting back to the new programming that we're trying to program it with happens in infinite amounts of ways. Because we know this is all an illusion. We create this as we go, based on what we have in our subconscious. So whenever we're reprogramming our subconscious mind, a war element can take place in the form of somebody trying to pull you back to your old spiritual system, somebody trying to pull you back into your old way of thinking, somebody trying to pull you back to old habits, whatever the case may be. It could be simply out of nowhere. It could be somebody you never talked to before, somebody you ain't talked to in a while. There's always going to be some form of a person, place, thing, or event that wants you to engage in something you have finally said no to, and you want to move on from it, whatever that may be. So it's never going to just go down easy, because it's in survival mode. Our basic instincts are in survival mode to keep us alive. So whenever that's threatened, it's going to create certain circumstances to fight and to combat the new programming just because it's in survival mode. Now, through this process of detoxing your mind from all these things, we can connect to certain energies, like I was saying earlier, to make this process easier. For example, more people are drawn to fairies, or people are drawn to elephants. People are drawn to certain symbols for a reason, because they hold power for you. You wouldn't be drawn to it or scared of it if it didn't have power. For example, this is something I just found earlier. Let me see if I can adjust this. There we go. See, it's like an angel, or you say a great mother with wings in the shape of a heart. See a little bird right there. You see 2013 right there. Let's see if I can zoom in. 2013. Now 2013 is when I started my YouTube channel, so that has significance for me. So I carry this around just as a talisman to connect with the metaphysical feminine principle as well as the feminine principle on a material level, because 2 + 1 + 3 = 6, which is Venus, which is the physical manifestation of the woman. And you can say this is like the metaphysical principle of the woman, like the oracle or the high priestess. You get what I'm saying? So I just carry this around as a talisman to keep me connected. Now, we do this naturally with certain things that may be given to us, certain charms or necklaces, you know, things that we really don't think about. Tattoos have certain frequencies. That's why if you see a person with a certain pattern of tattoos, they have a certain energy because of those tattoos. If the tattoos are real demonic, then their energy will reflect that. If it's real lighthearted, then their energy will reflect that. So if you're also trying to tap into a certain energy, you can have it tattooed on your body to permanently connect with that energy. Or if you don't want to go that extreme, you can have a charm or a necklace or a talisman like I just showed to connect with whatever energy you're trying to connect with. So the best thing you can do is just study the gods. And again, I went into more detail about this on the last video. I'm just emphasizing it with a physical picture just to show that they are doing the same thing. And again, they is just a metaphysical property just to describe people want to know, because we don't have faces for these people, but we obviously know that they have some type of knowledge to do this. So whoever they are, they had the knowledge to tap into these frequencies and benefit from it. And this is what they dedicate their life to. This is what they pass on to their kids. This is what their way of life is forever. Or at least that's what they would like it to be. Now let's go in. Let's see what happens. As we see all these blooming flowers. So the moment you step into this, you're seeing these circular, and you see these blooming flowers. You also see this with the symbols on it. You see the clock. You see the red carpet. You see the tile patterns. All this holds significance. The pillars. Right brain, left brain. You see the art up here. You see it's all fancy like. The moment I stepped in here, I felt better. As soon as I stepped in here, I felt better. And that's why, because of all the symbolism. The mind understands this, even though we may not understand what they physically mean, but the mind gets it. So the mind is influenced. Now we can clearly see it's a heavy Zeus energy at this particular city hall. Not to mention the address is 100. If I didn't show it in the video, which is obviously the sun. And you see they keep this motherfucker uptight, right? They keep it on point every day of the week. And here is obviously a church right here to further go into it. You know, so see little patterns right there. It's also a reason why this looks nice. This is feng shui. The reason why it's appealing to the eyes. So it's feng shui combined with symbolism that affects our subconscious. That makes you feel a certain type of way when you enter into all these certain type of buildings downtown. And where I gotta wear the suits to court and all these things. All these are ritualistic. They alter the mind. And if you don't understand the symbols, they will alter your mind for better or worse if you don't understand it. This is why it's important to study what these symbols mean, as well as give them meaning to yourself. You can create your own symbols. You're not limited to what's already here. We can create our own symbols. We can create our own reality from scratch. So I encourage everybody to explore their city, whatever their city is, and tap into the frequency so that we can all pull energy from these natural sources of energy. It's all natural, it's all energy. It's not negative or positive, it's just energy. We can all pull from this energy currency and create our realities, because we can't create it with no base formula, without a base formula, without a base foundation, without some type of energy, and transmute the energy into our desired path or product or manifestation. And the energy is all around us. It's free energy all around here if you have the code to tap into it, if you know what you're looking at, if you understand how to break down the streets, how to break down the cities, what to know. Just you can go on Wikipedia and just study your city, and you can find all this. You can find all this information out easy to study, and I guarantee you will be more in tune with the city you're in just by being able to know what's around you, what's the major religions, you know, what's the belief systems. How, you know, what are the laws? You know what I mean? All these things hold a certain energy, and if we are unaware of these things, we can't expect to prosper in a city that we know nothing about. We don't know nothing about the history. We just live in the city, but we don't know what energy is around the city. Every city has a spirit. Every city has an energy. I'm going to keep saying it because it's important to tap into it. It's important to integrate this with ourselves, so that we can wipe out all the things that do serve us and create a circumstance that does serve us. It's just like clearing out your old friends and getting a new set of friends that support you on your mission, on your journey. You get what I'm saying? And that's a process of detoxing your mind, of going through the hell of not having friends for a while before new friends come in. Can you go through those hellfires? Can you walk through those hells of being lonely for however long it may take before you get the new friends? You know what I mean? Can you bear being broke before you get the money rolling in like you want it to? Can you bear having a couple sleepless nights or fasting a couple days so that you can unlock certain centers within yourself that may be locked up? You get what I'm saying? We can always tap into this energy whenever we struggle. Whenever we struggle, whenever there's some type of war or strife, there's energy always there that we can tap into. That's all it is. So whenever you do spiritual work, it's just simply preparing your body and getting it in a state so that it can pick up on these psychic energies that are all around us, and it can give us inspirational thoughts. Because it's not going to be spirits talking in your ear per se. You may be walking in your city and a thought comes to you that makes perfect sense to you, and you implement it into your life and better it and improve it. Just by walking through the city and understanding the city, getting to know the energy. You get what I'm saying? That's why I'm taking time to show this part of Pasadena. Because through the video, you will be able to feel the energy. As I'm describing these things, it'll make more sense and help you make more sense of whatever city you're in. You get what I'm saying? This is the art of chaos. We go through the strife, we go through the struggle, because it's like we crack atoms. When we go through any type of struggle or strife, we are cracking atoms, which will yeah, tongue twisted, which releases energy, raw energy that we have access to, that we can transmute, that we can integrate with to create something new that has never been done before. We're not here to do something that's already been done. We're here to do things that have not been done before, to bring in the new wave, the new reality. Not to build upon the old. We see the old reality. We see what's been here for decades upon decades, centuries, maybe that. We can clearly see what's here. But are we so certain what will be here? Or what will be in your reality after you influence it, after we tap into these powers? So that's what it is. Definitely get in tune with your city, tap into these energies, and build your reality from scratch. Do as thou wilt. Peace. Yo, peace. This is like a part 2 to the video I just recorded, and I want to talk about tree spirits and the fairy kingdom. No matter what city you go in, the trees will always stand out. You get what I'm saying? So if the trees always stand out, connecting or contacting the tree spirits will always assist you. For example, smoking tobacco, although it's a poisonous plant, but in alchemy we transmute the poison into healing or for spiritual exercises. So don't worry about that. Even if you're not a smoker per se, you can smoke tobacco to better communicate with the trees. You can leave bowls of water under the trees. You can hug the trees. You can talk to the trees. You can just make some type of effort to communicate with the trees, and that's going to get you seen by the fairy kingdom. And for those who are drawn to fairies, that means you have a natural connection to the fairy kingdom. That's why you feel connected to it. That's why you feel drawn to it. So you want to put fairies up on your room, images of fairies. You know what I mean? Just read up on elves. You can watch fairy movies. Anything that has something to do with that type of energy, you can tap into it and get inspirational thoughts from it and creative ideas, if that is your choice. Trees are all around us, and they hold so much information. They are the elders of the reality. You know what I mean? There's no telling how old these trees are. They firmly rooted in the earth. See, all you see is trees. So if any spiritual being would understand anything that's going around in the city, it would be the trees, right? After all, they're the ones who sucks up all the energy or the oxygen or all the carbon dioxide and transmute it into oxygen. Alchemists. The trees are alchemists. Just by the function it serves on a physical and a spiritual level. You get what I'm saying? So we are all spiritual beings, and we serve our purpose. So tapping into these trees and these tree spirits will definitely enhance your spirituality. Just giving it the effort. And anything of this nature, whether it's the water element, the fire element, or the earth element, whether it's crystals or whatever the case, whatever you feel drawn to naturally, connect with that energy so you can better understand the energy around you. If it's certain crystals that come from a certain area, you can tap into those crystals. It may be certain leaves you can put on your altar to connect with the trees in your area. There's no right or wrong way to do it, just as long as you put in some type of effort. And it's through putting in this effort that spiritual insight is gained. Because you got to do things that were previously unknown to you to discover new things. You can't keep doing the same shit and expect to get new information. You have to branch outside the norm and do things that may be weird or unappealing to most, so that you can get insight, the insight that you need to take your spirituality to the next level. And definitely connected with the tree spirits, you can't go wrong with that. Just by them having such a powerful presence everywhere they are. You cannot ignore the trees. That's why it's so important to have trees, especially in locations like this, downtown, City Hall. It's important to have trees in these areas just because of the energy they emit. You get what I'm saying? So, just a little quick part to connect with these tree spirits, the fairies, fairy kingdom, whatever you feel drawn to. Peace.